The NBA preseason kicked off this weekend with the Knicks taking on the Sixers and the Suns taking on the Lakers. So let's break down some of the actions that these championship contenders used to try to get their season off on the right foot.
The scoring factor on three. 1, 2, 3, scoring factory.
What's going on, everybody? Coach Kevin with the Scoring Factory here with episode 16 of our breakdown series. Today, we're breaking down the X's and O's of the opening weekend of NBA preseason. Let's get right into it. One of the most commonly used actions in the modern NBA is the spread pick and roll, and that did not change during these preseason games. Look here, as Booker receives this screen, what makes this spread is the spacing that the other three players have. So both of our corners are filled, and Grayson Allen is close to the sideline in an effort to stretch his help defender. So as Booker comes off this screen, this is really just an effort to hunt spacing. In the NBA, what makes simple action so hard to guard is the shooting all around the perimeter, because these help defenders can't give too much help because they know both of these guys can shoot threes and will shoot threes at a high clip. So as Booker comes off of this screen, he has options here. He can pull up and shoot, and Booker as an elite mid-range shooter. Or if either of these two defenders helps too much, he can throw this pass or this pass, and those are both high percentage looks, especially when you have shooters like Grayson Allen and Dillon Brooks out there to make teams pay for helping in on the pick and roll. I think this clip is a perfect example that displays why guarding simple actions like spread pick and roll is so difficult in the NBA. So here we have our screen being set, and a lot of people hate when NBA teams go into drop coverage. Well, here's an example of why some of these aggressive coverages get burned so much. As Brunson comes off of this screen, look at our spread spacing. Look how close to the sideline Bridges is. Both of our corners are filled, and Bridges is almost on the sideline. So the Sixers want to try to trap Brunson and get the ball out of his hands. So as Brunson comes off this screen, we're basically 4v3 on the backside with 4 Knicks players here and only 3 defenders. Now, the gamble is that these 2 defenders make life on the ball handler hard enough that he can't make the right read. But again, this is the NBA, and these are professional basketball players. Look at this pass that Brunson makes. He makes the right read and zips a pass into Mitchell Robinson. If you go back frame by frame, watch Brunson's eyes as he goes to make this pass. Brunson actually is able to look off VJ Edgecombe, a rookie defender, by making it look like he's going to throw this pass to the corner. His eyes show that he's going to throw that pass the whole time, and he zips a no-look pass into a rolling big for a layup. And if he didn't make that pass, he had 3 shooters spotted up around the perimeter the whole time. That's what makes these simple actions so difficult to guard in the NBA. The Knicks used zoom multiple times in their opener against the Sixers. And just a reminder, zoom is a pin down screen into a handoff, typically from the big at the top of the key. And what I want you to keep in mind as this action unfolds is that the action itself is not necessarily designed to get a shot, it's designed to create an advantage. So even if they don't generate a shot from the initial action, they hopefully create an advantage down the line that helps them get the shot they're looking for. What makes this difficult is that Brunson is setting the screen, and Maxey does not want to switch off of Jalen Brunson because he is their best player. So Oubre now has to chase this over. So Anunoby's going to get this, and as Bridges cuts through, this forces the backside here to help more than they're expecting to. So now they're stuck just a bit. They get a bad closeout, and now they get an all-star going to work. The Knicks went back to this action multiple times throughout the game. So in this example, instead of Brunson setting the screen, Brunson is receiving the screen, and he's going to come get this handoff. And again, these teams don't want to switch because you don't want Brunson to have a favorable ISO matchup if they switch. So as Brunson gets this handoff, really, if we're being picky, he probably has a better angle to get downhill here. Or if Cat were a little more spaced out, that angle might be better for him. Instead, he doesn't think he has it, so now he sizes up, But again, this gives Brunson the space to operate that he needs. The action isn't necessarily directly going to result in the shot, but it results in the advantage of space that they're looking for to get Brunson a jumper. The Knicks also showed a double stagger screen set that they ran for Brunson that oftentimes result in the same advantage that Zoom creates. So as this plays out, we're going to see not one but two screens set for Brunson to come off of here. And again, because they don't want to switch or go under on a shooter, you're going to watch the defender chase Brunson over both screens. But he gets caught on the Karl-Anthony Towns screen. Brunson catches, which forces Towns' defender to help as he curls. He doesn't help enough, and Brunson's going to shoot this three. But even if he didn't want it, this pass to Cat is wide open for a step back three or a pocket pass if he likes, but they get an open three from their best player. One of the actions that the Suns went to consistently throughout the game was ghost screens. And ghost screens are an awesome way to use a shooter to create an advantage. And this is a great example of how the ghost screen itself won't create a shot, but the advantage it creates a good shot down the line. So watch as Grayson Allen runs up to act like he's going to set this screen and sprints out into space. It causes a miscommunication by the defense, and now there's two guarding one. Booker makes the right read and throws the ball to Allen, and the defense is now in rotation. Allen can throw this pass, or what he decides to do is wait, attack a bad closeout, and then they get an open dunk because of the ghost screen. So here's an example of where the ghost screens don't actually work, but it still helps create an advantage and an opportunity to score down the line. We see our first ghost screen. We try to get downhill, but the miscommunication on defense doesn't happen, so we pass. Here, we're going to come set another ghost screen here and flash to the corner and try to get downhill. Again, we don't see the miscommunication that we want, but as we start to go downhill, because we were in movement, this defender's not in a position to stunt or recover, which allows our offensive player more space to work, and we actually end up getting an and one on a late rotation. The Sixers showed a horn set late in the game, and all that a horn set is when we have two high ball screens coming on each side. And the really cool thing about horn spacing is that it lifts these defenders and is keeping them above the free throw line and away from help. So anytime you have someone dive out of a horn set, or really anytime you have guys involved in actions that are above the free throw line, you're taking away from help from the backside, and it opens up more layups and cuts for you. So the double screen is set, and as soon as it's set, we dive to the hoop. That forces this defender to have to help because the backside guys here can't leave their shooters. So as he steps in to help, he's late to get out to the shooter at the top of the key. The Lakers used a similar concept here as they used their action with three guys way above the nail. So having those guys above the nail is awesome because it takes away from that backside help, but it's only really useful if they're involved in an action. Otherwise, if they're not involved in an action, these defenders can really just sit and help in on whatever the two-man action is. That's why three-man actions are so awesome. So watch, as this ball gets skipped, they switch this screen, but they help too much, and we're able to get a backdoor cut, and the help can't be there. Booker cannot step in and help on that cut. If he does, it's just going to be a handoff to Reeves here. And now when this pass gets thrown, there are really three good options here. We're going to end up getting a dunk, but both of these kickouts for threes are wide open to good three-point shooters. But this is the best shot of the bunch. I hope this gave you a better understanding of why NBA actions can sometimes look so simple. The goal isn't always to create a shot, it's to create an advantage. And for the best players in the world, that's all they need to score or make the right play. You could argue that this is basketball in its purest form, stripped of all the window dressing you see at lower levels, leaving only spacing, timing, and decision making. It's the essence of what makes the game beautiful. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment what you want to see next. Follow us on our social medias at The Scoring Factory, and as always, I will see everybody in the next video.